at 6:07. This meeting's over at 6:17 p.m. Do we have minutes to look at? Did you all have a chance
Yes.
to look at them? November 21st, we were all here.
Motion
Is there
to approve?
Second.
a motion by Counselor George, second by Lindy. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Public comment. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to comment on tonight's meeting?
No one's online, Dennis.
No members from the public. We have two items for legislation being referred to us tonight, and action will be taken on A tonight, and B will be taken up another time. So the tax classification will be voted on at council meeting tonight. Right? Does it go anywhere else from tonight?
No, it's a hearing tonight.
It's a hearing tonight and a vote, okay. So, this annual, FY 24-017, FY 24 classification tax allocation adoption of a residential factor, is on our council agenda tonight. We need to make a recommendation tonight, so we're grateful to have our assessor Shelley McCauley here tonight you can give us a brief explanation and then give the council the full-blown explanation.
Okay.
Oh, but certainly
I
we'll
left
open
the
them
brief
up.
one downstairs.
Well, do as you shall please. The floor is yours.
I can go grab it.
Unless you want me to get the brief one.
No, I think they
Cover the highlights.
Highlight it? Okay.
What's
So
that? Did I-
municipalities have certain options in distributing the tax levy among taxpayers under property tax classification. Use of these options result in multiple tax rates for different property classes because they change the components used to calculate the rate. For example, the assessed valuation or the amount of the tax levy being paid by one class. But the total tax levy always remains the same. You can do a single or split tax rate. Municipalities must decide whether to tax all classes of property at their full and fair cash value, valuation share of the tax levy, which results in a single tax rate, or reduce the share of the tax levy paid by the residential and open space property owners and shift those taxes to commercial, industrial, and personal property taxes, results in a split tax rate. Then there's a few other options that you can choose also, which I usually don't discuss because no one's ever confronted me wanting to know more. But they consist of the open space discount, a residential exemption, and a small commercial exemption. This year, values were determined and approved on November 9th, 2023. We had residential percentage share of the tax levy at full and fair cash value is 85.12. The commercial, industrial, and personal property percentage share of the tax levy is 14.88. And surprisingly, that's the lowest the residential taxpayers has ever paid since I've been here, and probably ever.
The lowest rate.
The lowest percentage of tax levy they ever paid, yeah.
Right, but that's also tied
There
into
was a
property values.
1.89% shift from last year.
Right, but I think property values have also gone up significantly on the assessment, so it's taxes will never go down. The rate
No,
can go
I'm not
down.
talking about the taxes,
Right.
I'm talking about the shift now.
I got you.
So the residential is paying less than they have in a long time.
As opposed to the commercial
The
and
codes-
Oh, okay,
commercial
all right, I
industrial.
get what you're saying, okay.
Yeah. There's, I don't know if I don't think you have it in the packet, but there's, I go from like, the lowest, from 1 to 0.925, which is the MFRP. And in there, it tells you how you can shift.
Can you explain
And,
MFRP, because I'm a new concept?
say that again?
MFRP.
MFRP.
Minimal residential factor. So on that list, it's really hard to say what it is because I did from 1 to 1.50, which is the maximum you're allowed to shift. And this year, we came up with a estimated $12.14 tax rate. And that was based on that was based on, I'm sorry, the levy, which was 58,483,681, and divided by the value of 4,817,436,670, to have a 0.01214 times 1,000 equals your estimated tax rate of 1214.
What's this year's, last year's tax rate?
1284.
It's gone down.
So if the town council adopts a residential factor of 1, the estimated average single-family tax bill is $6,808, up from $6,696, which is an increase of $112. The average commercial bill would be $12,620, up from $10,888, which is an increase of $1,737. The average single-family assessed value for 2024 is $568.26, up from $521.524, which is an increase of 7.54%. And the average commercial valuation for fiscal year 24 is $1,039,527, up from $847,545, which is an increase of 22.65%.
So is it possible that some tax bills residential might go down a little bit? When you say $112 average, 6808 is about an average increase.
Only if they
So what-
demoed something, or if there was something wrong with the house, like the condition. If the assessment went down, then it would,
Yeah,
but it would have to go down or stay the same, which generally they don't do.
so when you say average of 112, was what, I'm not gonna ask you this in there, but I'll ask you now. What would be the swing of that 112? Could it be, you might see a $20 increase to a $300 increase?
Well, it would depend on
What you built?
the assessed value.
Okay.
So if you have the 560s, the median, anything below that will be less than the 112. Anything above that will be
Okay.
more than the 112.
Okay.
It will be on a scale.
No, that's not- Anybody have any questions? Do you have anything else to present? No? Then-
I don't have any questions.
So our recommendation would be to, I guess we have the hearing tonight, but we could, I mean, I do no recommendation the council that we would make is to adopt this single tax rate,
Residential factor of 1.
residential factor. That would be the norm.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. So that's 3-0 to adopt the residential factor of 1.
Hopefully down in the future, they can go more towards commercial, but we're not there yet.
But I think it's important to point out, and I'm sure you will tonight, that the commercial base has gone up quite a bit in 1 year. I think. Right? Is it?
It
Good
has.
jump. It's a good jump.
Yes, like I said, it's the highest definitely since I've been in there, and I think I went back into the 90s and it was still,
Right. It
we
doesn't
were in the
mean,
90s and the
right.
90s.
I mean, as though you use the word shift, which is important, but it's also too important to let the taxpayer, the residential taxpayer know that that's a good thing, but it doesn't mean, it's a little bit of relief, so to speak, for the for the homeowner, but not in the sense of dollars, so to speak.
Right.
So you have 9 counselors.
Your job is to reassure them. Just
It's a good thing. It's a
It is a good
I
thing.
mean, it might, next year could stall, you know, things happen, but, so you'll have 9 counselors to talk to tonight, and, you might get some questions.
You know, as far as shifting the tax rate, I always thought if you have the right assessments, then shifting the tax rate is really taking it from one class and putting it on another.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know the Bostons, Walthams, some of the Capes, they do that, so.
Well, I work in Braintree, and they have the commercial and the residential. The residential tax rate is really low. I mean, they really do seek the benefit of all that commercial base, but their property values are through the roof. It's all relative. It's like your tax rate is low, their tax bills are low, but their assessments, you know.
That's what they do.
So, okay. Anything else? We voted?
Yep.
Now we'll go on to the next. Thank you very much. We'll see you in about a half hour. So,
Thanks, Aaron.
The next one is the budget resolution, FY 24-004, that, I put it together. It kind of took what, as I explained at the council meeting 2 weeks ago, I just kind of took what, Councilor Wood has started these things several years ago, and I think it's a good tool to use to kind of set the tone, send the message and kind of, let the town manager know, although he's probably already started, I'm sure, with some things to look for in the budget and some guidelines to follow. I did kind of add in the budget resolution a couple of items relative to, let's see if I can find it.
Towards the
Towards the end.
end, so.
Okay, objectives. And basically I added 5 and 6. And that was to develop a plan that will improve the town with projected funds, improve the town-owned roads that are in need of improvements. Understanding that a great deal of road work is needed in the town, present a priority of what roads will be a priority for fiscal 25. We're funding for chapter 90 state, federal, and capital funds. Obviously, we can't do all the roads at once, but I'm sure, as we have seen, there's been 1 or 2 good projects every year that have been done. So that's to kind of keep that in an objective, not a demand, but an objective for the town manager. And then the 6th one I add is to continue with working hard to kind of get our trails and cut out, so when I retire, I can walk down the paths.
Yep.
My new dog. What about
Ooh, new dog.
Need a trail to the new dog.
the new dog?
So I'll make the motion to,
So,
or recommend.
if any, unless there's anything added, anything you guys want to add, tighten up, get rid of,
Looks great.
the council, I got not the council, the budget, the finance committee voted to approve this last night as well, 7-0.
So, motion to approve,
Motion recommended.
recommend.
I'll second that.
There's a motion to recommend and a second by Sean George. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Is there any other public comment tonight? Any other comment? Anybody join us while we were here? Debbie, leave us?
No, I'm here. No one joined you.
It's, saying a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded, and then all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:30 PM.
Okay.